Hi, this is Nev, and we're going to work on version 103 today. Just before we start up, I'm going to open my Visual Studio. It may bring in some files on OneDrive down in the corner. We'll see what happens. Now, in the last version 102, we went through and we said, oh, our client has changed their mind. We now want the apps in all the languages to multiply as well as add, and then also to make a sentence. So we will do that. Now here are the files coming in on OneDrive. I just wanted to do that to let you see what was happening there. So as well as the sum, which we have done, we've got working out, we are now going to do product. Okay, so in Visual Studio we should be able to see our files here, and we're going to start working on Pascal. At the moment we have version 101 and 102. Our master should be on 102. And I have not got a statement in here, but I'll do that in the next one now. So we can't edit Pascal within Visual Studio. We're going to edit it outside. We're going to work on our master, and we're going to here we go. We're going to work on this master and run it here and then just copy it up later. So we are now going to work on 103, so we'll make sure that's in here. The rest of that statement can remain the same. Oh, I am going to work from this document here. Let me get back and organized. So we're going to work on 103, the planning. So we can go straight and have a look at the code if we want to cheat and run down. Let's see if we can do it without checking that. And what we need to do here is a line where we multiply as well as add. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to make a right, I'm going to make these multiply, delete star. I've got a different keyboard, so I'm now able to use F5, and so this is going to need to be total sum, and this one we're going to call total product. We go back, check our notes, and let's go back here. In our planning, which we did lots of planning, being good students, we have now included a couple of extra fields. We had that sum before, it was called total before. We've now added an extra variable. It's also going to be an integer. It's going to be something that gets calculated, so that's there. In terms of screen elements, we're not up to that yet, but when we get onto Visual Studio and when we get onto JavaScript and Visual Basic, we'll use those extra screen elements. Alright, we now have to concatenate. So our right line statement here, the total is, now what I really want to write is the sum of, this is what our childcare center has asked specifically for, the sum of number 1. Right, now if I'm going to concatenate that number 1, a comma will work fine. If I wanted to use a plus sign, I'd need 2 strings. So number 1, comma, I need a space, inverted commas, I need a comma and a space, close my inverted commas, and then another comma, and now I want number 2. This time I want a comma, I want inverted commas, and so it's first number, second number, I'm putting a space after the and, whoops, single inverted commas, number 3, comma, number 3, and now I want comma to join it with is. I need a space before is, and a space afterwards, and comma total, and then I want a full stop at the end which they have specified. So I want comma full stop like that. Alright, let's see if it beautifies. Okay, let's see if it executes. I could compile as well. It's not, oh, it is screaming. Line 13. What's its problem with line 13? Total sum. Oh, number 14. Yeah, number 14 we do not. Oh, total product we're not using yet. That's okay. Oh, we haven't declared. Alright, total sum. Okay, and total product. Copy and total product. Okay, let's try again. Let's just try and execute. Still a problem. Column 77. So I have forgotten a comma here. There shouldn't be a dot. Alright, let's try again. So it's fairly specific. Column 79, as I put the cursor in there. So line 15, total, that total, oh yes, because we need total sum, of course. Let's try that now. We can get rid of that bottom one now, I think. Delete. Alright, execute. We're in business. First number 5, enter. 7, enter. 9. The sum of 5, 7 and 9 is 21. Okay, we're nearly there. What we need to do now is a product, so we can copy that line and we can do the product of that is total prod. And then we've got, whoops, Control Z. Let's run that now. Execute. 3, 5, 7, and we've got 2 sentences. So we've done it. Okay, we have done Pascal. I'm going to close it from down here. Sometimes it's hard from the top. And hopefully that code is going to agree with the code that we see in our document down here, Pascal. Right. Oh, we could have wrapped our line if we wanted to, but that we didn't do that. So if you wish, I've written it out. You can, as long as you put your return in the correct spot, you can wrap the line. Now back in the file manager, we know that this file has just been done, so we're going to copy, paste, make this version 103 and call it product, or just something simple, 103 product. Okay, back in Visual Studio we can add existing item, go into, we're in add 3, go into Pascal, and there it is. Okay, so we should be ready to go on. We have changed our version number and we're done with Pascal. The next language we're going to do is Python. So again, we're going to work on our master. I'm going to close these ones so there's no confusion. Alright, at the moment we are, this is going to run. We are set with Python as our startup, so let's just check. It should be adding correctly. First number 3, 6. What happened then? Oh, so it must have had an error. Unexpected. Maybe I hit a character then. So let's stop that and run it again. We'll try it again. 4, 6, 7. Yes, it is working, but of course it's got no validation, so if an entry is made which is not a number, it's going to crash. Alright, I need to add in another line here, same as before, and this one is going to be total prod. We're not going to have the problem with this language that we had with Pascal, where we have to declare prod, because the declarations are very informal in Python. This is going to be total sum, and that's going to agree with our naming that we had before. Now, concatenating. Again, we're going to use a comma as our concatenation. So we're going to, let's grab a copy of this, and we're going to say the sum of, and I can use single or double quotes. Look, I'm going to use, I know that Python has smart spacing, so I'm going to not use the spaces here, and we'll see what happens. Number 1, comma, and I actually want a comma in my brackets. Notice that Visual Studio is giving me 2 inverted commas as I go. It's quite smart. And now I want and inverted commas. Oh, I've included spaces there when I probably shouldn't. Let's keep going. I'm trying to remember the name of Python smart spacing. I'll have to look it up in the notes in just a minute. Alright, I want a comma. I want number 2. Actually, I don't want and there. I want comma. This time I want and. So, and I want and then comma, and number 3, comma, is, and I want no space at the end, delete, and total sum. Now it's screaming at me, so I've made an error here somewhere. I've got string, comma, variable, comma, string, comma. Now I want another variable. So comma, variable, this is number 2. I've got, yep, right, yep, and that's number 2. So I've got string sum of number 1, comma, number 2, and number 3 is total sum, and I want a final full stop. So comma, whoops, comma, inverted commas, full stop at the end. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Run. And we have got 3, 4, string. I must have touched another key as I entered that. Let's stop it and just try it again. 3, 4, 5, and it's working, but I don't like the way that there's a space before that comma, and there's also a space before that full stop at the end. So we need to do something about that. I need to go check my notes, and we've got Python here. I'm going to go to the table of contents, and I'm going to look at the meta languages. First of all, I'm just going to have a quick look at Pascal. In Pascal, we could have used a plus sign to concatenate if we had 2 strings, but generally we're going to use a comma to concatenate in Pascal, and we need single inverted commas. When we come down to Python, we can use single inverted commas or double inverted commas. I prefer double, because if we have a word like don't, we can cope with it. Otherwise, if we're using singles, that apostrophe there is going to be thought as an end of string. Alright, now we can put in this little sep equals nothing if we want to avoid getting that space at the end. Otherwise there's no way out of that. So this first one is done from this line with single quotes. This second one is done with this line of double quotes. They're identical. And this last line is done without the, what's it called? Softspace it's called, not Smartspace, Softspace. Okay, so personally, being a bit old school, I don't like that Python Softspace stuff. So I'm going to add in here another comma and sep equals, and I'm going to just use single quotes this time. Right, that's going to say that we do not want any spaces in here. Let's just run it like that before I fix it up. So we've got 3, 4, 5, and you can see that it has left no spaces here at all. So we're going to put the spaces in manually. So I want the sum of space, and I want a space after the comma. I want a space before and after and. I want a space before and after is, and I do not want any space around that full stop. Let's try now. Start. I can do F5 instead of start as well. 3, 4, 5, and that's looking neat now. 3, 4 and 5 is 12. So we've done it. Okay, let's go back to our notes. Check that we've got. Oh, we need to change our version number. So we've done 103. Add 3. So this is now this is a product with sentences. Just a bit of explanation. This okay. All right. Yep, that's good enough. Control S, done. Now I can't actually copy. Let's just see if we can copy paste. We can copy in here. Alright, so we're going to make this version 103, version 103, and it's going to be a product. Enter. Alright, so we've now got, we're still going to work on our master, but we've got a copy of it there done. We'll just check our notes for a second. We go back. By the way, there are 2 types of meta language that we do in our course. We do EBNF and we do Railroad. So the Railroad train's got a chuff off. Now we're doing a print statement. We've got to open the brackets and we've got to close the brackets. We can either have a string or a number. We haven't used numbers in our example, or identify, that's a variable. So let's just go up here. We can either use single or double quotes, but whatever we use, we've got to be consistent. Let's go back up here and we can sort of check whether this works. Now this is saying we can have a number, or that pipe symbol is or, a string, or an identifier. So when I come in to my code, it's a bit hard to get it on one page, I've got string first. So I'm using string. And then I'm going to go through again. I can loop this as many times as I want. The next time I come through, I've got to put down a comma, and then I've got to put, I am doing identifier. So we've got that one there, comma identifier. Okay, that takes us up to here. Then I can do comma string again, which is what I'm doing, comma string. So I'm repeating here 0 or many times. I've now repeated 2 times. I've got to have comma string, and I have got comma string. This string has just got a comma space. Okay, and then I've got another variable. So we're back to this one, comma variable, and away we go. So this allows us to define, when we're working in multiple languages, we can go see what are the rules for this language. Okay, back in Visual Studio, and the next thing we're going to do is JavaScript.